All right, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit since we've, I don't know, done anything. Well, I guess not really, because we had that snow day, so we had the trucks going. But today we are working on some beadlock rings for like a Bronco, and we're gonna do those in lavender. So we got 4 here. We got 1 in the booth already. So let me get you over there, try to get the camera set up. Hopefully you guys can see some of the powder coating. But we'll do our best to, I don't know, make sure you can see it. All right, so hopefully you can see that okay with me in the way. Let's get after it. So I've already got the lavender in here. There's the color, if you can see it. So I'm using a Cool Coat 3.0. I've had this one for probably 8 years, would be my guess. So I've had pretty good luck with it. I've got the big, like 5-pound hopper, and I have not had good luck with that thing. And I don't know if it's, oh, I wonder if y'all could heard that static. I don't know if maybe it's just me or what the case may be, but I was definitely having some issues with it. I did get some new stuff from a company called Coatings by Coats. So this is a deal that's supposed to help with Faraday cage, and it just slides on the end of the gun like this, and then this pulls back and hits right at this little screw on the back end here. So also got some of their nozzles, some of their tips, because I was having some issues on the with the factory ones, or the original ones that I got. So I don't really have to pay too much attention to the back side of this ring because, well, it's not going to be seen, but I want to make sure that I get at least some decent coverage. Check my powder, looks like I'm pretty good, and we'll just get going. So this is just a single stage, and you can see how it wraps around the front side here. And that's pretty much it for that one. I normally check it with a light. Where did my light? Oh, I've got it stuck on my door. So I get these inexpensive lights from Harbor Freight. Braun, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, there you go. Here, I'll just turn it towards the light. There you go. So Braun, they work pretty good. They work really good if they're plugged in, or if they've been charging. All right, so that one is dead. Hey, this will work. Trusty Milwaukee Rover. So basically all I'm doing here is just checking to make sure I don't have any light spots on it, because you would see the aluminum kind of shining through it, and we want to make sure we don't get that. So obviously you want to be careful when hanging all this stuff up, because you don't want it to bump another one, because then you gotta try to throw some more powder on it. So typically I do wear a respirator, but since I'm talking to you guys, I want to be able to make sure that you guys can hear me. But yeah, I'll tell you what, this new nozzle that I got from coatings. It's coatings by Coats. I don't know what I said earlier, but coatings by Coats. I got that new spray nozzle, and then I got this ring deal. Man, I tell you what, it has made a huge difference on some of the projects that I've done so far. And I mean, to be fair, this isn't like a big professional style shop. I mean, it's all done in my garage at the house, so I can come home and knock this stuff out and still be able to go inside when my wife says, hey, I need help with something, or hey, dinner's ready, or the kids need help with something. I can run inside. I can pretty much come to a stopping point for the most part, you know, and go in and see what everybody needs. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can just see how smooth this seems to be laying down here. I'm about to have to fill this little cup up again. I think I'm running low on powder here. So my kiddo just walked out. He was looking at me like I'm crazy, but I think that's normal. They think I'm crazy. What's up? Huh? No, I'm recording. Yeah. You gonna do burgers? Sweet. You know how to use charcoal? Huh? You know how to use charcoal? It's old school stuff, so you know, some of you youngsters, you Gen Z millennials or whatever it is that you are. Huh? What am I, Gen X? Yeah, I'm deaf. At this point, I'm deaf, so you're gonna have to speak up a little bit. Damn kids. They crack me up. That one is 20. And he's like, comes out to ask me if he can use the charcoal grill, because he's gonna cook burgers tonight. Oh, so close. All right, so we've done 3 rings so far. We're gonna probably have enough in there. So let's just keep going. I hope the static off of this thing isn't putting off some crazy weird sound off the, you know, into the mic and into the camera. But I guess we'll find out. So this actually, I started powder coating, I don't know, I guess it's probably been 10, 15 years. I started, you know, about 15 years ago, I guess, because I had some parts of my own for a truck, actually for Snowflake. You guys have seen that one, that I was wanting to powder coat. And the problem was, man, it was so expensive at the time for me, because I was a younger lad at that point, you know, with young kids, and I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on, you know, I guess you would say, like, not that this is a luxury, but, you know, like luxury items, like having stuff powder coated or Cerakoted, and I didn't have the extra funds to pay for it, so I bought I bought a powder coating gun from Eastwood. That was my first one, and I don't remember how much I paid for that. A couple $100. And then I ordered it as a kit. So the kit came in with a whole bunch of different color powders and things like that. And so I got that, and then at the time I was doing lawn care on the side, just another side gig, because I have an issue with not being able to sit still. So anyways, I was doing lawn care and stuff like that on the side, and a buddy of mine owns a resale shop. Well, in the resale shop he had like a double oven, and that's been in other videos too, so you guys have probably seen that, I would imagine. And anyways, so he wanted some yard stuff done, like, you know, we traded some, you know, your basic lawn maintenance stuff like mow, edge, weed eat, blow, you know, type stuff. And then I also did a couple of fertilizer applications and stuff like that, and so we kind of traded for a double house oven, and that's what I started using, you know, for doing parts. And anyways, it worked out pretty well, and then, you know, one thing led to another, and I ended up finding this is like a parts cabinet that dealerships use to it normally has a bunch of shelves in here. They'll put their parts in it and they wheel them around to wherever, you know, probably to the body shop or service center or something like that. They'll stack up a whole bunch of crap, whatever they need. And anyways, so we kind of converted that, and that's still usable. I do have a bigger oven. I'm actually on my third oven. So I had the double house oven, and then I bought like a 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot, which is kind of like what I have now. But I bought that one from some dude off a Facebook Marketplace, drove down to Houston and got it, and then ran that one for quite a few years. And then when we moved here, I didn't want to move it, so I sold it. And then once I kind of got the garage set up how I wanted to do it, I went ahead and bought a newer oven, something that was of better quality. Let me blow all this stuff off my arms real quick. Anyways, so going through all of that to say, I did it to save myself some money, and ended up really kind of enjoying doing this kind of stuff as a side gig for, you know, friends or family. And then, you know, kind of word of mouth kind of started going, and then next thing you know, it's, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? You know, and then another buddy of mine said, hey, can you Cerakote? And I'm like, I don't know, never tried it. So ordered some Cerakote online, went to Harbor Freight because they seem to have, you know, some of the most affordable things that you can get, and bought a real inexpensive, we can probably say cheap, that's probably fair, but an inexpensive spray gun. And I sprayed my very first AR, and actually came out wonderful. And then some of his buddies saw it, and some other people saw it, and so people started asking me, hey, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? And so fast forward to now, I've done, I don't know, hundreds of firearms, different colors, different styles of firearms, from some vintage ones that needed to be restored to like a newer Staccato 2011 that was, this guy picked up used, that was beat up and in terrible shape, and we got it cleaned up, and it turned out real nice. So my oven's up to temp, so I'm gonna spin you guys around so you can see me loading the stuff in here, and then we'll be back here shortly. All right, so this is a Davenport oven. Davenport Custom Coating. They build a whole lot of stuff. They got spray booths and ovens and all sorts of stuff like that. Again, this is the 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot. So it's not the smallest one they have, but it is on the smaller side. But it works best for me because I don't have a ton of room. I mean, I don't know if they make one this big, but they do make them big enough where, you know, people put car chassis in them. They'll send, you know, out to whoever and have a chassis builder will send their chassis out and have the whole thing powder coated black or silver, or I would imagine any color you wanted. Oh, don't spin. So yeah, these are going to go at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. So basically all we're doing right now is just getting them in the oven. Don't. Damn it. That one I screwed up. So basically what happens there is I'll be able to blow a little off of it. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these in here flat like that. And hopefully this will work out, which I'm sure it will, as long as they don't touch each other. So this one kind of goofed up a little bit on one of these edges, and it just looks like it just got touched. So the good news is a lot of the times you can just get in here and just do another little doot there and clean up that edge. And if you guys are curious, yes, it's really hot. All right, so let's get this closed up, and we will check back in here in a little bit, because we got to check to make sure, because they got to get up to 400 degrees. So the parts actually have to get up to 400. Then once the parts reach 400, you set the timer for 10 minutes, and then it's done. Come out, hang them up, let them cool off, or leave them in there, let them cool off. Once they're cool to the touch, done. Good to go. So for now, I'm gonna say see you in about 2 seconds, because, well, that's how this goes. All right, see you in a second. All right, so this oven is now, so it's about 386 degrees. So I'm gonna hop in here and check on this stuff real quick and see how things are going. Check the temp. So these are 323 degrees. I don't know if you can, let's get you closer here. You can see them, see how nice and glossy they are. So anyways, set you back up. Hopefully you don't fall over. But anyways, so we're gonna close this back up and we'll come check on them in a few more minutes, because again, like I said, we gotta get them up to 400, because once they reach 400, set the timer for 10 minutes, and then done once the timer goes off. So we'll go ahead, turn the timer on. We'll get it set for 10. That way, when it gets to temp, it's ready to roll. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I just started this to have fun and try to do some different stuff and save myself some cash and kind of learn something different. So, you know, long story short, don't be afraid to try something new. You know, who was it? Colonel Sanders didn't start his deal until he was in his 60s, and KFC is I don't know, it's a top brand. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, have their vision or find their calling later in life, which is fine. You know, maybe there's certain reasons that kept them from doing whatever it was that they were called to do. I believe all of us have a special calling for whatever it may be. I don't know that I've found mine yet. I do know that I enjoy talking to people. You know, I enjoy helping people that want to be helped. I guess that's part of my downfall is, well, I don't have time for the or the drive to, or the willingness to talk to the people who don't want to be helped. So I tend to get frustrated with that. But anyways, so yeah, back to all this mess. Started powder coating, and then I started Cerakote, and then somebody asked me about laser engraving, and now I've got 3 different laser engravers, and that portion of it is going pretty good too, as you guys have probably seen some of my videos as well. But yeah, I got a hat I got to do for a Valentine's gift, and then I've got a company ordered a whole bunch of cups. He actually owns 2 different landscaping companies, and they're going to have like I guess they're having their annual party sometime in March, or maybe they're going to do like a spring picnic type thing. I don't know what he's doing, but anyways, he wants some cups and he wants some keychains and things like that. So, you know, and it's all because I wanted to do something different. You know, some of this stuff, am I late to the game on the powder coating and the Cerakote and laser engraving? Yeah, probably. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people, and yeah, there's people out there that do some of the same stuff that I do, and there's people out there that, I mean, I would say are better at it than I am. But again, you know, there's so much work out there that, I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, just try to find a little niche or something that you feel like you're good at or wanting to try, and just give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You fail? Okay. Well, maybe you try it again. Maybe you failed in the right direction, but just the wrong way. And, you know, you have to fall. You have to be able to get up and lick your wounds and be like, all right, well, I'm not doing that shit again. Let's try to go about this a different route and find something different. Well, maybe not find something different, but find a different way around it. You know, like powder coating. You know, I started off with that Eastwood gun, like I said. I think that Eastwood gun was, you know, a few $100s. Maybe I think it was $300, like $299, or maybe it was $399. You know, as the whole kit. And it worked great for a few years, and then I was starting to get into things that entry level, I would call it an entry level. It's a great system. Their dual coat, I think is what it's called. it's a great little starter kit, you know, especially if you're going to be doing stuff for yourself. I mean, I think I did my son's bike with it, and that's a 2-coat. And so I started running into its limitations there, and so I started looking at, you know, a new gun. Now, I went from a $300 or $400 powder coating gun to a $1,600 powder coating gun, and they make them that are, you know, 10,000 plus. You know, it just depends on what you're trying to do. You know, for one that's 10 grand, if I'm gonna spend 10 grand on it, that probably needs to be my everyday job, where I'm out here powder coating, you know, everything all day long, you know, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever it takes. But I don't know that I necessarily want to go that route. So you got to know what your limitations are, and where you want to be, things that you want to do, and then kind of go for it. Cerakote's a lot of fun. I mean, I've got the Ottawa guns now, and those guns are $400 a piece. I've got 3 of those. But the reason for that is when I do multiple coats or multiple colors, I can have guns preset with the paint already in them. So they're already mixed and they're ready to go. I'm not having to, you know, pour a paint out and waste it, because once you can't, it's hard to pour it out into something and then pour it back into something. Oh, thought I heard somebody talking. So if you already have your guns preloaded and pre-ready to go, that Cerakote's good for like 2 hours before it starts to harden and you're going to start to run into some problems. And typically that's not the case. So you just gotta fine tune and kind of see where you're at and build up to that. Same thing with laser engraving. I started off with a fiber laser, because people had asked, hey, can you engrave on metal? And I'm like, no, I don't have an engraver. And so I was like, well, let me look into that. And I talked to my wife about it, and we had some conversations about it. And anyways, she said, yeah, let's go for it. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what can happen. And I'll tell you what, some of the stuff I've been able to do has been pretty awesome. So this is a chunk of aluminum that my father-in-law milled out for me. He's a machinist, and so he milled this out for me, and I wanted to put something crazy on there. So this is actually, that's a deep engraving, and that just says Nuthouse Custom Brass Punches. You know, nothing crazy, and it's got some design in there. And then I don't know if you can see it down in there, but I engraved the sizes of these punches in there also. But this was just a plain block of aluminum that he made for me, nothing crazy. And now it's got, I got some stuff in it, and that's deep engraved, so that's not going to scratch off. I mean, you'd have to machine it for it to come off. So it turned out really nice. I've done some engraving on some firearms using Cerakote. So one of the ladies that I work with, we matched her tattoo. So I Cerakoted the pistol slide teal, and then put a thin layer of black on it. And then once it was finished and finalized, I was able to take it over to the engraver and just lightly remove the top layer of the black to reveal the teal. And man, that turned out pretty cool too. Oh, excuse me. That turned out pretty awesome. And then you just start getting into other things. And then, I wanted to try making hats. Oh. Anyways, I wanted to try making hats. And the issue I was running into with the fiber laser is that I could get pre-made or pre-cut patches and engrave those, and the fiber laser engraves on that leatherette. I mean, it does a great job. I mean, nice crisp lines, but you couldn't get anything like overly custom. So I started looking at other things, and so then I bought my second laser, which is a CO2 laser. CO2 laser, I can do plastics, I can do some glass, like acrylic. I can do acrylic, some glass, leatherette, because it'll cut wood. Now, I mean, you're not going to cut 2x4s with it, but you'll cut like, 1/8 inch material, 1/4 inch material with that, and it does great. The problem with that is that you're only limited to an area about this big. And so I did, for the company that I work for every day on my day job, right? They had ordered 100 hats, and it took me probably 4 or 5 hours to cut out 100 of those patches, because I could only do 2 of them at a time. Because the problem is since you're dealing with a stationary lens, it doesn't move. It's a galvo, which means it's just got a head and the laser beam comes down, right? The further out you get away from the center of the lens, the less powerful the laser is. So I tried doing 4 at a time, and then that didn't work. It wasn't cutting them right, or it wouldn't engrave them right. And then I tried 3, and I was trying to bunch them up and trying to get it the best way, and that worked okay. But I found the best was doing 2 lasers at a time. This light keeps coming on and off, so I don't know how messed up that picture is, but anyways. So then I started getting more hat orders and more hat orders and more hat orders, and I was talking to my wife again. I was like, babe, we need to I think I want to buy another laser. And for the ones that are married, my wife probably would have reacted like yours, like, seriously, like another one? Where are you going to put it? I was like, oh, I've got plenty of room. Yeah, that's not the case. But I made it fit. And anyway, so that's a Thunder laser. That's the Bolt Plus. That one's super nice. That's probably one of the nicest lasers I have. But it's really neat. So that one's a gantry. So it's got a head that moves back and forth, and it moves. And so I can put a sheet of material in there that's like, the bed size is 18 by 20 or something like that. Or 14 by 20. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, so I can put a larger piece of material down there, hit the go button, and send it over to the machine, and it'll cut it, or it'll engrave, and then it'll cut, after it's done engraving. And I've done a run of 100 hats on that one, and that knocked the hat time down by probably more than 50%. So I went from like 4 to 5 hours to just over 2 hours for cutting the patches, and that made a world of difference. Of course, less time that you're spending on it, the better value you can hand to your customers. Not only can you give them a better value for what they're buying, but you're also going to be, your profit's going to be a little bit higher, because you're not spending as much time putting together a product when you've got items that can obviously speed it up by 50%. So you can go from selling, let's say you're selling a hat at like $40, right? And you see all these other guys at different places that are selling these hats for like $30, and you're like, I don't see how they're doing that, because we're at like, I'm spending 45 minutes putting the hat together, because the time with the other laser, you know what, I need to check this, but I'll keep talking. But checking the time that it's taken on the laser, plus all your time and efforts and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, we're right there, right at 400. So we're gonna go ahead and set this timer, 10 minutes, let it roll. So, if it's taking 45 minutes, that's a bit extreme, but honestly, if it's taking you, 30 minutes or so to make one hat from start to finish, then you got a lot of time invested. And let's just say you're trying to make you want to profit like $50 an hour. Let's just say you want to make $50 an hour. Like, you're going to have to sell that hat. Let's say you pay $10 for the hat, and let's say your patch cost you $3, right? So you got $13 invested in the hat. You want to make $50 an hour. If it takes you half an hour to make that, I mean, you're going to have to sell that hat for like $38 to make $50 an hour, right? Because half an hour at 20, that's $25 plus $13 for the hat and the patch, and that's it, right? You're at $38, $40 for a hat. Well, if you've got a machine that can do that in half the time, then yeah, you can bring your price down. You're still making more money, or you're making more money per hour because you can turn that product faster. I'm sure a lot of you guys understand that, and I'm sure I'll get some crazy comments, but it is what it is. So some of you guys that are coming in trying to figure out how to do some things and want to try something new, I mean, you gotta look at it differently. You gotta, from a business standpoint now, there's a lot of reading and stuff involved in trying to understand how stuff like that works. I don't know all the answers. Luckily, I've got some good people, some good mentors that I can bounce ideas off of, and they give me good feedback. And even if it's not the feedback that you want, the feedback that you get may help you get you into that direction. So anyways, I think I'm just rambling on, but kind of enjoy. This is almost therapeutic, talking to you guys and running a lot of this stuff, through my brain again while I'm just sitting here waiting for these rings to be done. But yeah, like I said, don't be scared, don't be worried, don't be any of that kind of stuff. Just try something new. If you want to try it, try to figure out how to do it in the beginning as cheap as you can. No, you're not going to make a ton of profit, or you're not going to make any profit. I mean, that's a thing too. And then you start to get to where you're making a little bit more money. You've got some money in the bank, and then you start buying. I don't know. You get half stupid, and you start buying freaking laser engravers, and then you end up with 3 really expensive pieces of equipment. But they're making you money, and the more you get to do that, the more things like that you get to do, and the sky's the limit. Honestly, there is no end in sight as to some of the crap that can be engraved that people will buy, like wooden hangers. You see wooden hangers, people buy those things for, like, I've got 3 different colors. I got a white, I've got natural, and then I think it's cherry or mahogany. It's a darker wood. It looks okay. The white looks really good. My favorite's the natural wood. I just think you get a better contrast there. But people pay good money for that kind of stuff, especially for weddings, and for like a memorable item. You get them for your groomsmen, or you get them for your bridesmaids. Whatever the case may be, and you find somebody who's got a custom closet, right? They've got a custom closet, and they want something crazy in there. Well, you can build a monogram with their last name initial on it, build them a monogram and engrave it in the hangers. Why not? And sell it to them, and you pay a few dollars for the hangers, whatever, you get them off Amazon, whatever the case may be, and you turn around and sell them. Let's say you pay $2 a hanger, you turn around and sell this. I mean, they're selling on Etsy for like anywhere from $15 to $25, depending on what people want on them. I mean, that is outrageous. But again, not everybody can engrave that kind of stuff. So it's just looking for different things, different ideas, and just try something new is basically the moral of this video. I mean, we were powder coating, and I don't know where I went left. Squirrel, whatever, you know, and just started rambling on. But yeah, just get out and try something. Doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, it can be anything. Like myself, I'm a little plump, but I have a marathon, not a marathon. I'm not doing a marathon. That would definitely probably kill me. But I got a 10K coming up, and I got to do better at training, you know, to get ready for this 10K. Even if I spent most of my time walking it, at least I'm doing it. Something new. Try something new. Take charge of yourself, of your mind, and try something new. If you fail, try it again. If you fail again, try it again. Or maybe that's when you're like, you know what, I just want to try this and see if I like it. If you try it and you don't like it, okay, well, I tried it, I didn't like it. Let's do something different. Okay, well, what are we gonna do? You know, whatever. My sister, she does beard balms. She started by making soaps, which are lovely, by the way. You should check her out. I'll link her YouTube page here somewhere, or I'll give it a shot, or at least down in the comments, or in the description. But she started off by doing bath products because she wanted something that was a little cleaner, something that was a more natural product than some of the stuff you buy at the store, because a lot of the stuff you buy at the store is garbage, full of chemicals and all sorts of junk. But anyways, I'm not going to speak on that. But she wanted to try doing that, and she's been very successful with the soaps. So much so that she went and she started doing beard balms. And I'll tell you what, beard balms, if you're a guy with a beard and you want some good beard balm stuff, you guys really should check her stuff out. It's some of the best smelling stuff. Like, I've done a lot of the subscription beard places, and hers by far has been the best smelling. It's not as greasy. It's not near as greasy as some of the stuff that you buy from some of these larger companies, but to each their own. That's just me. Her husband wanted to start doing like candles and wax melts, and so they've been doing that. They actually will take like old beer bottles, and they cut the top off of them, and they'll put candles. They'll pour the wax in there and make a candle out of like old beer bottle or a whiskey bottle. So they've got some really cool stuff there. And then she went off and started doing like bath scrubs and lotions, and so that's what she does. That's her little side gig. And once a year we get together, because she's up in Tennessee. So once a year we get together and we do a show out there by her that's in it's in Wares Valley, which is like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, Sevierville. I hope I said that right. Somebody's probably gonna be upset because I said that wrong. But look, 43 seconds. But yeah, Sevierville, and you know, we go up there, and it's a 3-day deal, and man, we have so much fun just talking to the people, and I'm over there making stuff, and there's a line because I take the lasers with me, so I can do custom stuff on site. Oh dang, I'm off. So I can do custom stuff on site, and man, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and it, like, laser engraving was never even on my radar of something that I wanted to do. And the first time somebody asked me, I had zero interest in doing laser engraving. Zero. I wanted nothing to do with it. But what ended up happening was I got my first engraver, and then I was like, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. And this is really hot. And anyways, so yeah, we had a lot of fun with it, and now this will be, hopefully I can, oh man, that would have sucked. Hopefully I can make it up there this year. I don't know why I wouldn't be, but this will be year number 3. And again, we had some really good times with it, talking with the people. And you know, that's not an area that I'm from. That's not an area that she's from there either, but she had a situation that called her to the Knoxville area, and that's where her and her husband live now, and that's where, you know, they're thriving out there. They're doing wonderful things. And you know, she's doing her soaps and their candles and all sorts of fun stuff they got going on there. And but yeah, all right, so this is the last one. Pull this one out, set that up there, then I'll turn this fan off because I know that was loud. But anyways, let's get you down here. See how good those look? But yeah, they'll sit here and they'll cool off, and once they're cool and they're, I don't know, room temperature, whatever the case that may be, whatever that is, you know, once they're not like 400 degrees, then I'll get them all boxed up. But I'll hop on my phone here in just a second, and I'll shoot the guy a text message and let him know that they're ready to go, and he can come pick them up. But yeah, that's all I got. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll do some editing so you guys won't have to hear me ramble on too much, or maybe I'll just leave it, I don't know. But anyways, appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. Had a lot of fun spraying these with you guys and just rambling on and talking about business and I don't know, just enjoying the time. It's a wonderful evening. I can't believe it's freaking January. No, it's February 9th. And it is 66 degrees outside of North Texas. I'm not complaining, because it's absolutely wonderful. But guys, again, moral of the story for today, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us doing this. But get out there and try something. Try something new, try something different. Go learn a new trade. If you want to, you know, learn a new language, try to learn a new language. If you want to try to sew, learn to sew. If you want to learn just anything, I just encourage you guys to get out there and just try something new, try something different. Like I started doing YouTube videos, I don't know, quite a few years ago, and then when we moved into this house, Thanksgiving of 2021. Yeah, Thanksgiving of 21 was the last like big video I did. So yeah, it's been 4.5 years since I've done one. But I kind of missed it, so I wanted to kind of get back into it, and I didn't feel like some of the stuff that I had been doing would be interesting for anybody to watch or want to see. But here I am again. I'm trying it again. Because why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? Nobody watches it? Okay, no big deal. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, putting stuff together for it. Just really enjoyed it. Dinner's ready? All right. Well, Saved by the bell. Dinner's ready. So, until I see you guys again, have a good evening. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all of that crap. Comment. Yeah, make some comments. Ask some questions. I'll try my best to get on there and, answer any or respond to anything and all of that kind of fun stuff. So, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and see you guys shortly.